So I'm sure as many of you know, I have recently posted my full review of Android 12L on the Surface Duo / Surface Duo 2, and in pretty typical Microsoft Surface Duo fashion, since that update has come out, I'm seeing a lot more reports of bugs, problems with people's devices running Android 12L. So in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to go over the data that I have gathered. I've done some polling and I've also asked for bug reports. What kind of bugs specifically are you find folks experiencing? I'm going to talk about maybe some of the things that I have actually seen since posting my review, and we're going to talk about how big of an issue this is. The first thing I want to point out is that there was a thread posted on the Surface Duo subreddit by this person, something Flying Scotsman, kind of going over this. And I have read through this and I have sort of condensed what these comments were into a handful of comments, and we'll kind of reference that later. I also posted my own thread on Reddit linking to my community post, which was a poll. I asked people to vote on that poll and then also to comment what bugs they've been experiencing. If you commented here instead of on my poll, it's not that I'm ignoring you, but it's that I know for a fact that some of you commented twice. Some of you commented here and on the poll, and I don't want to double up reports. So I have to pick which set of comments to go by. So I'm going to read the comments on the community post. If you commented here but not there, I'm not intentionally ignoring you. I just don't know if you have the same username on both, and I have no way to filter this. So keep that in mind as we go forward. So the first thing we want to do here is let's look at the poll. Here are the results. My bugs, or lack thereof, are the same as before the update. Got 17%. I have more bugs, either new or more frequent. So maybe it's old bugs, but you're seeing it more often. After the update, got 34%. That is significant, right? That is a pretty large amount of people seeing bugs. It's 1/3 of the respondents. And then 49%, nearly half, said I have fewer bugs now than before the update. So this is a really interesting result. A lot of people, keep in mind, 438 people have voted at the time of recording. It's a decent amount of people. Half of them say they have fewer bugs now than before, okay? But to say that 1/3 are experiencing an increase, an uptick, that is significant and that is serious. And this video definitely needs to happen because of this. I will put a link to this in my 12L review. I'm going to make sure that people seeing that will also see this video so that they will know what to expect here going forward. So now let's actually look at some of these bug reports as well. Initially, I was just going to sort of scroll through these and read these to you, but it was getting very rambly and very hard to follow. So I want to say for everyone that took the time to make these comments, to supply me with this information, to be able to share with everyone else, thank you very, very much. I want you all to see your beautiful comment on the screen as I scroll through these. What I've done, instead of actually going through and reading each one of them and having to kind of parse it, and like I said, avoiding becoming kind of rambly sounding, what I've done is I have sort of curated them and I have written them down like this. We can very quickly and more easily go through them. So these are the ones that I saw on Reddit. Now what I don't want you to do is to take these and the numbers next to them and then add them to these, okay? Because this was from a thread on Reddit. This was from my poll on my comments there. Some of these people may have also commented here. So we kind of have to think of them as two separate reports, not additive, okay? Because we don't want to make things worse than they are. So with that being understood, you can see what the Reddit ones are there. We're not going to go through them because this is the longer list. We don't want to duplicate things. We're going to go through this list first. So 5 people commented that they were experiencing the black screen bug. And we've been seeing this since day 1 on Surface Duo. Basically, what we're talking about here is that you've got your Duo in your hands, and in some different way, it's acting differently for some people. But what's supposed to happen is when you go into phone mode, this screen should shut off and say double tap to switch screens. People are experiencing that happening when they're in phone mode, or perhaps they're in phone, I should say when they're in book mode, they're getting the double tap to switch screens like this, but it shouldn't be happening. It should go away. They may also be experiencing phone mode with both screens staying active like it's in book mode. I kind of added one report of that into that one as well. So the black screen bug is still present for some people. Not being able to switch between silent, vibrate, and sound on. So when you hit your volume rocker there, you should be able to hit a little toggle to change between these modes. This person says they weren't able to do that. Only one report of that. mic or speaker not working on calls. There were two people. One was the mic, one was the earpiece. One person actually is having their device swapped out. But again, two reports of that. So trying to make a phone call and either the mic's not working so they can't hear you or you can't hear them. Status bar, frozen or blank. 5 reports of this. So what we're looking at here is on our Duo up here. This is our status bar where the time is and all of this stuff. So people are reporting that, like their time just isn't updating. Okay, so maybe they know that it's 11:18, but this says it's 11:14. It's been frozen for 4 minutes. Or they know that they're charging, but it doesn't show that they're charging. That's another one that I've seen. I've seen someone say, oh, my phone's not charging. I bet it is charging. It's just not telling you. So there were 5 reports of that status bar becoming frozen. The pin menu not opening up. So then there's a new menu. You hit the button on the pin and a little thing pops up and it shows you the applications you put in there. At least one instance that was apparently solved by rebooting, but at least one instance where that was not functioning properly. Sound not working until an app restart. This is one I've seen for a really long time and it's not super common for me, but it does happen occasionally. Open up YouTube and there's no sound. Swipe up and hold, throw away YouTube, open it again, and everything's fine, but that is worth mentioning. Notification shade only on the left screen. That's one I've only seen one report of, but it is worth mentioning. Texts not sending. I think there were actually 2 reports of this, and I just forgot to add that second one in there. So trying to send a text, it's sending. It can't send. It fails. Reboot. When you come back in, it's able to send. There seems to be some sort of connectivity problem going on. We'll talk about that more as we go forward. Phone slowing down until a reboot. Now, this one here is one that is actually very interesting, and I don't know that I can show you this all that well. I don't think even if I had a camera filming it. Maybe if I filmed it in slow motion, this would work, but I think I can just sort of talk you through it and you might understand. Here's something that I've noticed in the last few days. It may have been there the entire time and I didn't notice it until recently. It's really hard to say, but this is what's happening. So let's open up Twitter and let's go to the screen so that I have enough stuff to be able to scroll through. If I am in this situation here with one app open and then no app on the other screen, after about a day, that right screen will start to just feel sluggish scrolling. Now, if you use something to display the FPS or to display the frame rate or I should say the refresh rate of the screen, it will say that there are no problems. But I can see it with my eyes. It looks like a 60 hertz, basically. It looks like a 60 hertz display, and it's not. Keep in mind, what you're seeing here is the screen being wirelessly streamed, so it's always going to look a bit janky there. Okay, it looks worse here than it does in person. But here's what's really strange. Get something scrolling, and then open up another app on the other screen. And as soon as that app is loaded, the scrolling becomes instantly smooth as butter again. And as soon as I close this other app, the scrolling starts looking like 60 hertz again. It starts looking rough again. I do not know what to make of this. There's another version of this too. So one app open and I'm scrolling through my app drawer and it looks sluggish. If I close this app and now go through my app drawer, it looks smooth as can be again. So there's something going on there. I've tried using an application to kill some system apps to try and restart some things. I haven't been able to find the culprit. I've tried killing the Microsoft launcher. That wasn't the culprit apparently, at least not in that regard. Rebooting makes this go away, sometimes for a whole day. But this might be kind of what people are experiencing. Alarms not going off / not being able to stop them. This actually just happened to me. In my household, the alarms are on my phone. My wife has to get up at 6 a.m., but the alarm is on my phone. I wake up much easier. So I wake up, turn off the alarm, and then roll over and I go, wake up. Well, this was a bit of a problem because woke up at about 6:30 the other day, and the alarm just did not go off. It didn't say it was missed. It didn't say anything like that. It just didn't go off. So, of course, the wife was not very pleased with me based on this having happened, made her late for work. So what I did is I set the alarm for 1 minute later, took the exact same alarm, just moved the time, and it went off just fine. But for some reason there, it just did not try to go off. So 3 people have had a similar experience with either the alarm not working or working, just not having a way to dismiss or snooze the thing. So that can be very, very frustrating. I've actually had to forego using my phone for the alarm now and using another device because we just can't have that type of thing happening. Freezing or crashing apps. 4 people have reported that. Now, I actually have seen a couple of times in the last couple of days where you're using it, the thing just wants to lock up for a second. You're trying to swipe up to go home, you're trying to tap an app and nothing happens for a couple seconds, and then it's like it catches up and everything's okay. I have not seen any issues with actual app crashes. Touch response issues were reported by somebody. I'm going to kind of maybe roll that in with the freezing and crashing thing. It's kind of hard to determine what is a touch issue and what is a freezing issue, so you can kind of maybe roll those in together. Apps getting stuck in shrunk down recent apps view. This is a weird one, but I can kind of show you what it sounds like. So apps, basically, you swipe it up and holding to go home, and the app is like this, but rather than being able to scroll through the app, you're actually still interacting with that app. That is a very weird one, and 2 people reported something similar to that. Phone call issues. You can see the number 11 next to that, because this is apparently the primary thing that is affecting people. And it actually also just happened to me the other day. So I was outside, I was going to go do some leaf blowing. I put my earbuds in and the earbuds didn't connect. So I thought, that's weird. So I figured I'll just reboot. So I reboot my phone. When it comes back, very strange thing happens, okay? So I get like a whole bunch of text messages that are coming, and some of them are from my wife saying, why are you not responding to me? Are you okay? She's been texting me all day, and I just wasn't getting them. She tried to call me, and my phone did not ring. I was getting emails. All of this stuff came flooding in. So some sort of connectivity issue had occurred where I was just not getting anything at all coming my way. That was very, very strange. And then later on that day, I tried to call my mom to ask her something, and when I hit the button to call, it just instantly would hang up on me. I'd hit it again, it would try to call, and it would just hang up. I rebooted, made my phone call, and it was fine. It has been fine since. It was fine before. Don't know what to make of this, but there appears to be some sort of weird connectivity problem that affected Bluetooth, it affected my notifications, and it affected my ability to send and receive phone calls, and 11 people have reported something like this. Some people are getting phone calls, but they can't, there's no button to answer them. Some people are in phone calls, but there's no way to close out of the phone call. It won't hang up. They have to literally shut the phone off to hang up. So loads of issues involving the phone app. If you make a lot of phone calls, this could be a problem. Luckily, I don't make a lot of phone calls, and maybe this is something that could have happened to me more often, but I just don't make a lot of phone calls. So maybe it's something that I'm just not seeing. That is definitely troubling, though. It's a phone. It has to be good at phone calls, and so that's a problem. Slow unlocking has been reported by 3 people. There's that new animation that kind of like zooms out whenever you unlock. For some people, that apparently might be causing some problems, or it unlocks and it's frozen for a second afterwards. Definitely not cool. Screenshot hotkey not working. I only saw one comment on this, but I've seen it otherwhere, maybe on Twitter. So maybe more instances of this. Basically, the power and volume down to take a screenshot just isn't working for some people anymore. Very odd, but it is apparently there. One person said that their web apps were just disappearing. You can install a website as an app, and when I think after a reboot, they said those web apps were just gone. One instance of auto rotate not working, needing to be toggled. One instance of double clicking the power button, launching the camera, but the camera is frozen. And then at least one issue specifically about Bluetooth connectivity issues, which you can kind of roll into the things that I just spoke about. Now, some of these ones I wrote down separately here. Swipe down to search. Someone actually did comment on this, and I know that I saw, and I guess maybe I forgot to write it down or something like that. But this one is driving me freaking crazy. So by default, typically, if you swipe down on your Duo's home screen, you should be in this search view. And if you start typing something, you should have the ability to do a lot of things. One of them is to search the web. This just does not work for me anymore. Now, you can also use a specific search bar, and this seems to work a bit better, but web search just is there sometimes, and sometimes it's not. And that is frustrating the life out of me because I use that all the time. I have had issues, not in the last couple days, but I have had issues where all of my icons down here on the bottom got stuck on one screen, and I had to actually reboot the phone, or I think I just force closed Microsoft Launcher, and that fixed it. That was a little bit annoying. These next two are effectively one and the same. I have discovered this is an interesting one. So I had my phone in my Duo dock charging. I think I was casting. So it was like as I've been doing this entire time. And I think I was running a pretty intensive application. I think I was like editing a video. I was letting a video process. I don't know why I was doing that, but I was. And I got a pop-up that said that my device was overheating and that I needed to let it sit for a second to try again. And I think I took a screenshot of this. I did. Pause to prevent overheating. I've never seen this before on a Surface Duo ever. So this may be not a bug so much as it is a feature that is saying, hey, we're going to try and keep your Duo from overheating. Now, maybe before, Duos, they've been known for getting quite hot. And I must admit, it was a warm device, but it wasn't any more warm than I've experienced before. So you can look at this two ways. One, this has always been here, but the device just never was getting hot enough for this to occur, which would be bad. Or two, this is new and the device was always getting a little hotter than maybe it should have. And now there's a piece of software that's actually going to try to protect the device should that be happening. That is something that I just really don't know which one it is. It could be, it could go either way. So let's look at the Reddit ones really quickly and see if there's any that I need to mention. So phone not charging is almost certainly the same thing as the status bar not updating. It probably is charging. It's just not necessarily telling you. Some people are having some 5G issues where, I used to be on 5G in this area and now I'm on LTE. It's like my, maybe their signal has degraded a little bit. Maybe that has something to do with some of this other stuff going on. Issues closing apps in the recent apps screen. Tethering, crashing their launcher. I've tested this, and this when I enable the hotspot on my phone, I don't crash, but 2 people on Reddit reported that was in fact happening to them. So there's a lot here, guys. This is going to be a long video. I think I'm going to be like close to 20 minutes at this point covering all of this stuff. So what does it all mean? Well, to me, what it all means is that Duo, this 12L update, which, other polling I've shown you that you guys have voted on, most people seem to be very happy with it. But unfortunately, I would say too many people are having new or more frequent bugs than they were before. Now, we got to keep in mind that this does not necessarily mean that 1/3 of people voting are now like unhappy with their device. Now, we don't really have that information because when we look at these other polls, like I said, how did people feel about the 12L update? Most people seem to be very happy with it. So are these bugs popping up now after this poll? And if I ask them again, the results would be different. More people would be unhappy. Are these results what they are? That's, a lot of people are seeing bugs, but it's not overall impacting their enjoyment of the device. They're largely not a big deal. That's kind of where I'm at. I've had some issues, but they've not been that big of a deal. Now, the people that are having the phone issues and the crashing, yeah, I would say that's maybe they were already in that group of the 1s, 2s, and 3s. It's just really hard to parse all of this. You would have to ask so many questions, and it's honestly miraculous that I get as many responses as I get because, a lot of people, you can see here, 438 votes. How many comments? 63. So that's not anywhere near, like most people vote and don't actually comment and give that deeper information. I think right now the only definitive position I can take is that too many people are seeing bugs of some sort on Surface Duo. Important to keep in mind that when 12 was rolled out on other devices, OnePlus and Google, they were so buggy, they had to actually pull the update and stop rolling them out. So we're not there yet, I don't think. Not from what I can tell. But I will say that, this is too many. Let's hope that this next update will have a bunch of bug fixes. They're going to see maybe this video and things like this and realize places where they can fix some bugs and start really shoring things up. This was a really substantial update. And a lot of people think it wasn't substantial, but it was. 2.6 gigabytes or 3.2 gigabytes. A lot of the stuff that got updated, you don't even see. It's firmware updates, it's driver updates, and you didn't necessarily see any of it. It was a substantial update. So let's hope that bug fixes are coming and that what is definitely too many people having bugs does get reduced with subsequent updates very soon. Guys, if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss more content just like this. I will see you on the next one. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.